Hello, Kiet. Welcome to your speaking test. Let's start with part 1. What kind of clothes do you like to wear the most?
It probably depends on the situation or the background I'm in that I have to consider what to wear. But, leave alone special occasions like that. Casual clothes still reign supreme on my list. A pair of short denim is a perennial favorite, and t-shirt is definitely, a perfect match for it.
Who chooses the clothes you wear?
Like I just said earlier, I have a thing for fashion. It may sound a little bit superficial to, other people, but to me, fashion has always been one of those efficient ways for me to tell my stories and somehow just defines my own aesthetics as well as the mood that I want to feel throughout a day. So I would exclusively decide on what to wear.
How often do you wear traditional clothes?
The last time I wore ao dai was probably 5 years ago at a Tet holiday event. Well, in addition to look fashionable, people including myself need a more comfy style to, in order to work comfortably, which accounts for why traditional clothes is not a go-to on a daily basis. But however, contrary to the boys, high school girls still have to wear ao dai on every Monday due to the policy of some Vietnamese public schools.
Now we'll turn to part 2. You'll be given a topic and 1 minute to prepare. Describe something exciting that you have done in your life.
About a year ago, I had the privilege to attend a youth leadership forum in New York City. Despite a worn-out 16-hour flight, I was bursting with excitement about the trip. So the one-week forum was attended with 18 global representatives. We basically joined workshops covering topics about artificial intelligence, political borders, climate change, refugees in the 21st century, and then we developed a group project together. We were offered a chance to go inside the United Nations headquarters in order to have a closer look at the functions, the power of the UN, as well as the sustainable development goals that they are working on. It was such an extraordinary experience for us to learn, to share, to understand, and I feel like there was so much hope for humanity at the time. Besides workshops and lessons like that, we participated in activities including a visit to Manhattan for a day long. I was put a spell on by the allure of New York City. So first up, we went sightseeing to some of the most iconic attractions of New York City, such as the Statue of Liberty, the Rockefeller Center, Times Square, and then we just let our hair down, took a walk through different avenues, checked around some Broadway theaters under the dazzling lights, and then we shared the rest of the evening together at a restaurant. One of the most memorable moments of that night was when we caught the rain on our way to the restaurant. It was the most New York in the best way. The trip to New York is a momentous event in my life. For the first time, I got to capture the uniquely nuanced, overlapping landscapes of culture in the place where people came in pursuit of fame and success.
Thank you. Now let's move on to part 3. In this part, I'd like to ask you a few questions related to the part 2 topic. Should people always avoid danger, or is it sometimes good to take risks?
I would say that I lean towards taking risks. From my perspective, people who contain themselves in a comfort zone lead a sedentary lifestyle, whereas people who allow themselves to try, to fail, to be broken can grow stronger. Risk-taking instills in people, strength, flexibility, patience, as well as a liberal mindset. Throughout the lives we live, there can be some intensive obstacles that we encounter, and the only way to overcome them is to be brave, to keep on going, to keep on standing up right after being knocked down. In fact, every story has two sides. They can either be, positive or negative. They can either be good or bad, but without testing it, you can never see the outcome.
What risks do young people take in your country?
In my country, young people invest in startups to make profit for themselves, plus to pave the way for their long-run business empire. Otherwise, students who want to, get out of their comfort zone, they usually take part in competitions in different criteria in order to express their talents to the world.
And why are some people very cautious about everything?
I believe that being raised in an overprotective family is one of those reasons that makes people become overly cautious about things. As they grew up, they were taught to be obsessed with safety and at the same time disagree with the prospect of dealing with hardship. As a consequence, they tend to believe in misconceptions and deprive themselves of chances to know that the setback from taking risks is minor compared to the advantages that they can reap from it. This way of thinking not only makes it harder for people to seek for opportunities in life, but also makes them questions about their self-esteem, which is dangerous.
Thank you, Kiet. That's the end of the speaking test.